Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's had a fantastic day. Hope everyone's feeling fantastically well. It is July 1st. It's Tuesday, July 1st, and, well, there is just only one question. One question. We are waiting for an answer. Where are the signings? Where are the goddamn signings? Please, people, let me know where are the signings, because according to Top Gunners, it got promised us that on July 1st we gonna sign all the players. The war chest will be open. The magic, the genie is gonna fly out of that war chest, and we will have players in our club. And so far, well, we have nada. We have Kepa. That's all about what it is to it. So, what we gonna do today? We're going to talk about transfers, obviously. We're going to talk about players here. We're going to talk about players linked. Because, as they said, July 1st is the real day when transfer window actually opens. Well, at least for Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. Well, at least for Arsenal. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see where we land and all this stuff. But, yeah. So far, not so great, but we're going to get into it. Let's take this step by step. So, before we get into all of that, smash the like button if you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and leave your thoughts down in the live chat. Let's see where we go from here. Big up BBK. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hit that like and as you enter the stream. Big up. Listen to him. As you enter, hit that like. Takes a second, takes genuinely a second, helps the stream out a lot and helps everything a lot. Of course, subscribe while you are at it. And of course, as I said, leave your thoughts down the live chat just so we can discuss them, because the transfer window, well, at least for Arsenal, by the looks of things, finally has been opened. Big up, AJ. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling fantastically well today. Hope everything is fine with you. And all that stuff. And this is basically where we are at the moment. This is the thumbnail for today as well, by the way. This is the thumbnail for today. How do you feel about Lonzo trade? Well, we got, who was it? Colin Sexton, something like that in return. We'll see where that goes. But ultimately, it's pain being a Bulls fan. Is it just as big as pain being an Arsenal fan? Not so much. I'm not going to lie. Being a Bulls fan, it's less pain being a Chicago Bulls fan. I'm not going to lie, although it was bound to happen eventually. We are entering another rebuild. During the rebuild, about the rebuild, sounds a lot like Arsenal, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, by the looks of things, it is for a greater good, at least. For Arsenal, I cannot say that. Unfortunately, I cannot say that. How do you feel about Dame buyout? Well, that was also about to happen. He's out for the rest of the season, next season as well. They got Miles Turner in return, which is good since Brook Lopez left and he went to Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, on a 2-year deal. So they needed a rim protector. They need a scorer from the center spot, also can shoot threes, so that is good. The issue is that they have big issues there. And on top of all that, it looks like Atlanta is trying to take the best out of the situation. It looks like they could be up there. Yes, they have lost the center. They will lose another one, I think. But they have signed some good free agents. They have signed Luke Cornett and everything. They have traded for Porzingis. I think with Hawks, it will be a very interesting story. They could be one to look for, at least until a certain point. Big up Kwame. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Arsenal needs a lot of soul searching. Lies doesn't help us. Yes, we need truth, and nothing but the truth. We don't need nothing else. Enough beating around the bush, enough about all this what ifs, what about that, what about this and everything. But ultimately, we need some stuff actually finally starting to happen. Do you think the Greek freak will stay or request a trade? It's a big question mark for me. Because if I was Giannis, looking at my age and everything, and I would want to win at least another ring, I would literally request a trade. At the same time, there is not a single team, maybe Oklahoma City, who can give something in return. Because the rest of the teams, like, he doesn't want to go to Portland and teams like that. Let's be real. So he has, let's be real. He has nothing more. He has nowhere to go, like in that regard. He has nowhere to go. So that is the big issue with Giannis. His contract runs out in 2 years. Now, that is also a big issue because he obviously won't be the youngest spring chicken, let's just put it that way. But at the end of the day, I think he can do something with it. Big up at Getty. Same question, different day. James Trafford, Delanga, we already know that. Mohamed Kudus, I don't know where he's going. You are not getting Jonathan David. I read today that Jonathan David pretty much by 80-90% has agreed a deal with Juventus. He is going to Juventus by the looks of things. So he definitely is not joining any Premier League side, nowhere near. He, by the looks of things, is going to Italy, and he's going to stay there for some time. Big up, Eros. Hope you're doing well. Mikel Music in the building. Resident DC fan, which causes him nothing but the pain. But yeah, this is basically what Arsenal are right now. It's the same meme. It's the same meme as, you know, the dog and everything. Everything is fine. Just in this case, we have Mikel Arteta here. I'm getting sick and tired of the club not bothering to sign players, especially Viktor Gyökeres, who wants to play for Arsenal. And to be honest, speaking of Viktor Gyökeres, since you already have mentioned it, Kwame, right? We're going to look into it. We're definitely going to look into it because here are the big news regarding Gyokeres. And I'm not going to lie, it is actually good news. It is actually some good news regarding Gyokeres. Not sure how much you can trust them, but we're going to talk about it because there could be change in the winds. It might be a smokescreen for Sesko. Just take that. However, now that Gyokeres has 51.4 million release clauses, which became active as of today, right here, right now, July 1st, and all this stuff, because if they want the 19 million, 10% of that is going to his agent, by the way. So it's basically in his contract or some shit like that. At the end of the day, the talks with Sesko apparently are stalling now because they want, by the looks of things, a bit more money. And it's very interesting because now they like, what's its face, L'Equipe have doubled down on this by saying Arsenal now are close to reaching a verbal agreement with Sporting center forward Gyokeres, who wants to join the Gunners. So is there a change in the tides? That is the big question. Is there a goddamn change in the tides? And actually, Arsenal would do something they never do. We always say, if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Could this be the case where it makes sense and Arsenal actually do it? Could this be the case? Because by the looks of things, it actually could happen. If there was a chance, I would be all over Gyokeres. Pause. If I had the money and he was available, because he has said he wants to come here himself. So definitely there could be a possibility of that happening. Why did Kepa take number 13? Doesn't he know no one has ever done well in the 13? Well, to be honest, if he doesn't perform well, he can write it off to the number like he's cursed or something. Let's just put it that way. He has an excuse like Mikel Arteta. So, hey, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it? Something and everything. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got him. Just get Gyokeres now. Stop playing games. Exactly. Gyokeres is right there. It looks like there could be something happening. It could be something happening. The issue with this is it still could be a smokescreen because we all know Arsenal. We all know how this goes. We have seen this issue unfold before us. We have seen this image, this sequence, this situation unfold before us, and it ends in a misery. We want to sign Gonzalo Higuain. We sign Yaya Sanogo. We want Karim Benzema, we get pretty much Marwan Shamach and all this stuff. We have been there. So could, for a change, we actually go for the number one target for the strikers? Because let's be real, as it says here, 51 million pounds. 51 million pounds. That's the same price as Ben White. It is available. Gyokeres is available. You can get him. There is a possibility. So there is a chance. There is a lifeline. Yes, there is tornado outside and we are hanging by a thread as an Arsenal fans who want Gyokeres, but there is a chance. Believe, be excited and all this stuff. It could actually come to tuition. Let's just put it that way. Get Viktor Gyökeres and Eze, and we have 18 days till we fly out till preseason. Before the preseason, get in Gyokeres, Eze, and Rodrigo. And I'm all cool. I'm genuinely all cool if we do that. Rodrigo is the one that I don't think he's gonna move, but if there's a possibility, you bet your sweet ass we have to do it. Because 100%, if player of such caliber as Rodrigo becomes available on the market, Bayern is gonna be on it like stink on cheese. They already wanted to sign Nico Williams. They wanted to sign some other players for that left wing spot to replace Sane and Coleman. So they will be all over it. Liverpool as well. If Luis Diaz goes to Saudi, they will be all over it. Because Al Nassr want Luis Diaz as their main target for that left wing spot. However, there is something interesting about that, though. There is something interesting about that. Because if they cannot get Luis Diaz, Martinelli could be an option. Seriously, Martinelli could be an option. Martinelli could be an option in this regard. Obviously, Arsenal don't want to sell him, apparently. However, if a good bid from Saudis come in 60, 70 million, I don't think Arsenal will be holding that. Arsenal will be taking it. It would stand to a reason. You get 60, 70 million, you slap 20, 30 on top, you go for Rodrigo. We should be going in for a player like Rodrigo, despite the fact that he wants or doesn't want to leave, to be honest. We should be acting like a big club. We should, but we don't. That is a big issue. Another day, no Gyokeres. Big up YouTube senses. Yes, that is the big thing. Another day, another link, another rumor, still no Gyokeres. But there could be change in the tides. Sell Gabriel Martinelli to Saudi, then buy either Rodrigo or Lookman. Yeah, sell Martinelli. I'm not against it. I'm genuinely not against it. Like, it's weird because as a kid, obviously, I've grown up since Arsenal last time won the league. I have grown up almost, how long time I have grown up? 2 decades. More than 2 decades have passed since Arsenal last won the league, so that tells you how much I have grown since then. At the time, I had an emotional attachment to Henry, to Bergkamp and players like that. At the moment, I have no emotional attachments to any of these players. They are like business workers for me here in terms of this. You perform, cool, you don't, piss off. That's it. There is nothing. However, if we get someone like Rodrigo, right, it would be that Alexis Sanchez. It would be that Mesut Ozil. It would be that Aubameyang. And I will be honest with you, if we get Rodrigo, I strongly would consider actually buying an Arsenal kit with Rodrigo on the back. I never get names on the back of the shirt, but if we get Rodrigo, I actually am considering this option. As wild as it sounds. Telling you that now. Bigger people, 6 likes. If we can get that to 10, 20 by the end of the stream, would be much appreciated. Arsenal should get Gyokeres immediately. Exactly. Stop wasting time. Get Gyokeres, get Eze, especially since Eze can be bought on release clauses, by the way. 3 times 20. All done and dusted. And by the way, it doesn't stop there. It genuinely doesn't stop there because here is the big kicker. Here is the big kicker regarding Arsenal and their left-wing position. Because today at work, I was reading this, and I'm not gonna lie, I got a bit excited. Pause and all that stuff, but I got a bit excited because, and I kid you not, because look at this. The likes of Febrecese, Magnag are all interested of Arsenal as they weigh up what else may be achievable in the market beyond the 9. Arsenal are exploring a number of details. Sales could be a factor in what develops, right? That is the one thing that gets talked about. But there is something that really, really, really makes me excited. Let's just put it that way. It makes me a bit excited because Arsenal are among options to go for Eze, right? And Eze would be separate signing to striker and winger, which means Arsenal are looking at options to get Eze, a striker, and a winger. And this kind of makes me excited. Only hope is it's true. That is the only truth. That is truth. Because if Arsenal actually go in the market, we get Eze, And then on top of that, we get striker and a left winger. That would give a whole different meaning. Oh, sorry, misclick. That would give a whole different meaning of good summer for Arsenal. Whole different meaning. Because we've been starved for so goddamn long as Arsenal fans in market, making some proper signings and everything, that if we did that, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. So when we are going to show of NordVPN, no idea. Kepa has been signed. Zubimendi apparently is next. After that, most likely it will be NordVPN, by the looks of things. It would be after that. It genuinely would be after that. Because I think Norgard would be the last one. Mostly as well, I think, because where is it? Here is NordVPN. I have it saved as well here. Here is NordVPN, right? Here it is. Norgard was on holiday when Arsenal struck an agreement with Brentford, but he is expected to undergo medical this week and finalize a deal. So he hasn't even done the medicals at Arsenal, which at the end of the day means that he is, of all the 3 Arsenal signings that looks like have been done, more or less, the furthest away to be announced. Which means Kepa has been announced today. Very, very soon, it will be Zubimendi, and afterwards, it will be Norgard. At least that's how I see it. So we'll see. We genuinely will see. If we bring in Madueke, I want Berta sack, no joke. Yeah, fact. Sack them all. Sack manager, sack Berta, sack the board, sack half of the players, let them go, build with the youth, and let's start from bottom. Don't care. If we are going in those depths already. Genuinely, if we go in those depths. So we are not getting Christian. He wants to stay in Spain. What? He wants to... No, we might. I know you mean Mosquito. You mean the Mosquito guard and everything. Not Mosquito guard. That's old guard. Never mind. That makes no sense. But Mosquito is still available. Mosquito is... Whoa. It actually zoomed out quite heavily. Mosquito is still on the books. Yes, there is a bit of a issue. Let's just put it that way. There is a bit of an issue in terms of Mosquito. I will admit that. But hopefully it actually goes well because according to latest reports, Valencia apparently have offered him a new deal. Valencia have made Christian Mosquera an important contract renewal, which does not include a low release clauses. His release clauses at the moment are about 17 million pounds. Valencia presented it on the basis that he could make the leap to a bigger club in a few years. However, Arsenal is here now already, pretty much. Speaking of NordVPN, why did we pick him when Paul Pogba was available for free? Don't ask me. Genuinely don't ask me. I think he just wanted to play consistent minutes, and Monaco definitely could have ensured him that. Consistent minutes, regular time, regular game time. Mosquera will be solid. Norgard, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, it remains to be seen what Mosquera will do. Like, what he will do. Mosquera won't offer anything to Arsenal. Like, in the beginning, definitely not. Definitely not. I think Mosquera is coming in as a Tomiyasu replacement. That's how at least I see it. Like, he can play both center backs. He can play a right back. He 90 to 95% of the time plays center back for Valencia, left or right sided. And then when needed, he can play as a right back. He's not great. He's not the best in the world. He's only 20, so he can actually grow and develop. But that, again, takes time. So it's another process. It's another youth project, which is annoying. I'm not going to lie. But he has rapid pace, and that obviously he gets caught out on occasion for Valencia, but that pace actually saves him big time. And if we look at it in that regard, it's similar to Kyle Walker. I'm not saying Mosquera is Kyle Walker, but at the same time, I'm not too fussed about this. The issue about Mosquera is, though, he already at Valencia is on 30,000 a week. Which means if he comes to Arsenal, it would be genuinely about 50, 60 grand instantly without shadow of a doubt. And to pay that kind of money for a player who's going to kick a ball genuinely for about 10 games a season, by the looks of things, at least for now, unless Saliba, Gabriel, knock on wood, get injured or something like that, is insane. For a 20-year-old especially, it is insane. I'm done with this club at this point. What happened, Marlon? What did you see? Who picked up Damien? Why he out of the whole of next season? He has an ACL. He has an ACL. He got it. He played through minor injury that reoccurred after he came back from the big injury, which he got after he got traded, and now he has got the ACL, and he's out for the whole next season. Similarly, like Jason Tatum, pretty much for Boston. We have both Timber and White. Yeah. So what? Timber is having a surgery apparently again. He played injured, where he said that he cannot play against PSG, yet Arteta still played him anyways. He is recuperating. He's doing everything. He might need another surgery. Ben White looks like shadow of himself when he came back. Timber, what he is gonna look like when he comes back after another potential surgery or injury, who knows? What's going to happen to Gabriel? God knows what's going to happen with him after he comes back after the surgery and everything. We have 3 players, 4 even at the moment, with genuinely scar this big on their ACL. On their hamstring. Like, that is not a good look. Mosquera doesn't have to be all that, though. He has simply to give options. Exactly. He has to be available when we need him, basically. Just like Tomiyasu was. We already have JT and Benny and Belbian. No. To be fair, Berta did want Mosquera at Atletico Madrid, so that's a good start. Yeah, same as Gyokeres. He wanted Gyokeres at Atletico Madrid, but Simeone wanted Alvarez, right? And basically, they signed Alvarez mostly because Simeone and the board went over Berta's head and signed him despite everything. That's why they got apparently Diaz. Fuck's sake, what was his name? Fucking hell, what? Julian Alvarez. See how much I'm blanking at the moment. Julian Alvarez instead of Gyokeres. So keep that in mind. They aren't enough to run both injury through. Exactly, that's the biggest issue. Ben White is finished and Simba needs a major surgery. Like, that is the case. Ben White was shambolic when he came back. Maybe he kicks into gear. But Timber, as he said in the interview, which obviously none of the top Gunners covered, but he talked about the fact that he was feeling pain, massive pain. The doctor said he's good to go, but they didn't know what kind of pain Timber was in. They said him that, but he said told that to them apparently, but they just, I don't want to say ignored it, but basically closed an eye on it. So everything got given to Mikel Arteta, and he played against PSG. And that's why around 70th minute or 60th, he got subbed off. Arteta is a mad. Why is he using players that are injured? You asking me? He played Declan Rice with broken toe. Saka was injured for a long time. No wonder he was limping. He played through ankle injury for the end of basically about third of the end of season 20 during 23-24 season. Then Timber plays through injury. White plays through injury when he needs a surgery and everything. Odegaard plays full 90 against Chelsea. Then he goes to Norway's national team. They do the medicals there. They laugh him out of the national team by saying, you cannot even walk. You barely can walk. You cannot be even on the pitch. Why the hell did you come to the national duty? He gets sent back to Arsenal, and then he conducts an interview. Oh, but I need to listen to my body and everything. No, you didn't. You just wanted to play. Arteta made you to play. And that is the big thing. If you look at what medical staff is saying and what Arteta is doing, there is some miscommunication. Because someone with someone is not in full agreement. Because if they both agree he can play, then he plays. If they both disagree that he cannot play, he doesn't play. But if one says they can't, other says he can, and at the end of the day, Arteta thinks he can, then he's gonna play. There is something in the hierarchy and in the comments that is not basically adding up at the end of the day. We are cooked. Well, yeah. Saka and Inshallah once again. Hamstring Saka is gonna be bagged again. If Tomiyasu actually existed, then we could skip on Mosquera facts. Because let's be real, when Tomiyasu is not injured, he's actually a very, very good player. We saw how he played at right back. We have seen him as a left back. Remember against that game against Liverpool, at Emirates, when he pocketed Salah? Because Salah loves to cut in on his left, and Tomiyasu is right-footed, so he could tackle him easily. They tried over the top balls, and Tomiyasu read all of them like a book. Like Tomiyasu, when he's not injured and he's fully fit and on form, he's fantastic, to be honest. There was a time when Ben White was injured and Tomiyasu played, right? That was in 23-24 season. I actually forgot for a month or so that we even had Ben White in the team because he was actually that goddamn good. The issue is he's made out of glass. He sneezes, he breaks an arm. He steps out of bed, sprained ankle and everything. Like, he cannot do anything. He breathes in, oh, nose broken and everything. Big up DVTT. Big up, 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 big up. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you are doing well today. Arteta is just mad. That's why he's running so many players through injuries. Yeah. And he doesn't rotate because he has nobody to rotate with. And then it's again, at the end of the day, it's end of the world because everyone's overplayed, ran into the ground, and at some point, body will give up. At some point, something has to give. And if you have overplayed players who have no stamina left, no fitness and everything, they've been ran straight into the ground because they play every single game almost bell to bell for a year and a half, 2 years. At some point, the body is going to say, I've had enough. And it's going to break. And unfortunately, it happened last season. And unfortunately as well, it happened to our best players. And so on top of that, those were our most durable players. Because Saka pretty much never gets injured. Rice as well. Just like he did at West Ham. Odegaard as well, let's be real, but that was a different injury. Havertz almost never gets injured. Gabriel is man of steel. He almost never gets injured with big injuries. Some minor knocks here or there, but ultimately he never had a big injury. And now all 4 of them dropped like flies last season. The penny dropped last season. Yet these top Gunners gave a 7-8 out of 10 window last year with signing Calafiori and Merino. Robbie from AFTV says Havertz is going to score 20 goals for Arsenal last season. Like, what are we doing here? So, which team do you reckon give Damian post-injury? Because I would love him done in Miami. I'm not so sure. I actually, I follow NBA and all this stuff, but I haven't caught up on player luxury taxes, salary caps, and how below the specific A-rounds everyone is at the moment. Because they are trying to kind of enforce the rules where teams cannot have super teams anymore as much. They cannot build a big 3 like they used to, like you had in Boston, like you had in Miami, like you had in Cleveland and in Golden State and stuff like that. They're trying to basically somehow cap it. So there are teams that can offer him something, but mostly those teams are, lower end sides, let's be real. I'm not too sure Damian Lillard at this stage of his career, where he basically is running out of time desperately, he will go there. It's something like, for example, Chris Paul, CP3. He's one of my favorite players I have ever watched in NBA. And he's one of those guys who has never won a ring. That hurts me as a basketball and NBA fan. That's what's very annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that still grinds my gears. Big up 9 likes, people. Big up. If we can push it up to 20 by the end of the stream, I would appreciate that to the maximum extent. I would even argue that Havertz was playing through injury. Yeah, he was. Because was it after Wolves game? He basically sat down on the pitch and he got medical treatment. We had a game afterwards, I think. He played it, but he didn't look himself. Then they went to Dubai. It had light, easy training, but somehow they did intense physical training and he got instantly injured. Big up my bad. Big up BBK. Hope you're doing well. I see you. You were here before the stream kicked off and you are here right now. If you haven't, people, subscribe to BBK Sports. Every single sub, everything basically. Every single sub, everything helps. That's 1 day off of his ACL recovery. And 1 day quicker, that means. We will finally do a collab together on his channel and on my channel. It's genuinely quite insane. Obviously, he has an unfortunate injury. He's moving and everything. So it's not going to happen maybe as quickly because there is stuff that needs to be sorted out. At this, there's time issue, time difference because he's from other cross of the pond, but we're going to get it sorted out. So just be a tiny bit more patient. That's unacceptable. Arteta is doing along. Exactly. That is unacceptable. Yet top Gunners don't care. We got super duper Mick. He knows exactly what we need. Injury at the back, injury in attack, and Arsenal have no players to sub in the league. That's what's happening all the freaking time. That is a big issue. And when for example, me, Lee Gunner, Northside, Jez, Shane, BBK, Aaron, Views, whoever calls it out, oh, you're toxic and negative. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fake plastic fan. F off down the lane and support Spurs. We don't claim you. You're not a real Arsenal fan. It's always like that. Truth hurts. And some people cannot face the truth, unfortunately. They are so far in their delusion, in their cult, believing and following like blind sheep, where maybe they realize that it's wrong, right? The things that are happening are wrong, but they are so down the line that they are not recoverable anymore. Arteta is the one saying the players can play clear as day because he picks the team, he picks the players. Obviously, you could also make if medical staff says that, well, why wouldn't Arteta pick them? So there is some miscommunication there, 100%. Partey played injured against Spurs late in the game a few years ago. Yeah, that all big up comp 285, by the way. But yeah, Partey also played through injuries as well. We have always players who play through injuries. And the issue is they are our best players. And the issue with that is Arteta has no backups, no substitutions, no improvements, nothing purchased in transfer markets for our best players. He has multiple subs for positions that are screwed up because he doesn't know what's going to work and what's not. But for the best positions that work specifically, he doesn't have proper backups. He has makeshift players who can play there, but they cannot play there well. Like, your Swiss Army knife type of players that get described all the time. For those positions, he has only those. Because they never get injured, they play good and everything. It's criminal running players through injury. Yeah. Like, it's weird. It's a different circumstances, but I have played through injuries. I'll be honest with you, I have. I have played with a broken finger on my broken toe through painkillers. I'm not gonna lie. I have done that, honestly. But that was a final. That was a final. I was the team captain and everything. I had to play, right? But that is different one-off game for final, cool. But to do it week in, week out, 2-3 games a week, and everything in a consistent loop for a month or so, that is unacceptable to the maximum extent. You're basically gambling with players' careers in that regard because it takes one injury, one situation, one tackle, one unopportunistic moment, and that player's career is over. That player needs a surgery. That player is out for the rest of the season. It doesn't take a lot, does it? It's unacceptable to allow players to play while they have injuries. Yeah, they should be benched instantly. And not even injured players. Do what Wenger did. As soon as player starts to hit the red zone, bench him. You think that is easy? You think it's easy to bench one of your best players? No, it's not. As a manager, that's arguably one of the toughest tasks you can have. Imagine you're one best player in the team, your leader, your best player of your output. You have to bench him. But that's when the backups come in. They should be good enough to replace him at least by 70, not 70, maybe 80, 90%. Remember when we went to, was it 2002? I think it was. We went to United. We went to Old Trafford. Thierry Henry was in red zone. What Wenger did, said, Henry says, I want to play. Wenger says, no, the fuck you're not. You're going to hold bench. You are in the red zone. I'm not playing you. Bergkamp was injured. Pires didn't play. Lehmann was out, or Seaman at the time. I'm now mixing them up, right? So will third play and stuff like that. We still won and we won the league there because we had proper backups. We had proper squad depth. We had proper quality on the bench to rotate, to substitute, to improve just in case. We had competition per each position. Now we have none of that. We have about 7-8 good players that are top of the team, and rest of them are just hole fillers, because those 7 players are actually squares that are going into square holes. Rest of them are just round pegs trying to get pushed into square holes. And it works to some extent, but fully it will never work, and it always disrupts the team. Problem is Tomiyasu is never available. Yeah, that is the biggest issue with Tomiyasu. That was the game Arteta pushed Partey back onto midfield when he was injured. Took months for Partey to come back from that one. Yeah, just push back. He did the same with Tierney. When Tierney was cramping up, he fell down on the side of the pitch. He just pushed him into the pitch. Might as well go back to attacking football. Our defense is basically injured and we are buried. Defense will spread more and more times. To be honest, our defense is actually not that bad. Our defense arguably is the best part of the team. And you would argue with Skelly as a left back, with Timber as a right back when they play, right? With Saliba and Timber there, right? Gabriel and Saliba there. We can play expensive attacking football. Maybe when we go two goals ahead or 3 goals ahead, stop. Let them attack, take possession, see the game out. But not when you score 1 goal, then you sit back, invite the pressure, and it ends in 1-1 draw or we lose. Like, that is embarrassing. Yeah, Tomiyasu is out till December now. Rice will definitely get a major injury next season, same with Saliba. Oh, but if that happens, write it off. It's a top 6 ball at best. Robbie is a joker, to say the least. Welcome to Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with Daily Dusan Vlahovic, with stuff I make up myself so people make me like him. That's how that Lookman links got talked about. Was it Lookman? I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. AFTV exclusive. Nobody else reported it, by the way. Ornstein, Fabrizio, not even ITKs, no one. Just AFTV. Arsenal are looking at Lookman. Something like that was happening there as well. Robbie is factually Luton Town. He's just used... Yeah, that is also the case. He's a Luton Town fan. Why am I seeing Eze Rodrigo debates everywhere in Arsenal accounts? Because everyone thinks that if we sign Eze, we are not getting Rodrigo. Everyone thinks that way. Even though today we got told by Athletics, so take it with a pinch of salt, but still they reported that if Arsenal sign Eze, despite that, we are looking at left winger and a striker. And look how Arsenal have fallen. Rodrigo, Leao, Nico Williams, top. Then we go to above average, Eze, comparatively, right? And then we have Noni Madueke or Garnacho and down front, and we are linked with even that. CP3, one of the greatest of all time. I would love to see him get a ring. Yeah, I would genuinely that as well. That, for example, if you ask me 3 things to see in my life in NBA, which I have not seen or would like to see, I would like to see Michael Jordan play live. I would want CP3 to win a ring, and I would also want Derrick Rose never get that goddamn ACL injury. Youngest MVP and everything. Those would be my 3 things. Afterwards, yes, we can talk about Greg Oden being injury-free, Grant Hill being injury-free, Brandon Roy being injury-free and stuff like that, right? But ultimately, those would be my top 3. I do not, because I want this both. So Robbie is a Luton fan. So everyone latching onto Arsenal to make money. Basically, the same goes with Terry Flowers or whatever his name is. Terry Flowers, Terry Daisy, and all this stuff. He talks more about Arsenal than any other team. Not Henry talks bollocks, but Henry Wrong TV and all this stuff. Also, 90% is Arsenal content. And when he talks about Arsenal, he gets views. When he speaks about his own Spurs or other teams, they don't get views. Only Arsenal gets views. But if we buy them both, we will... Apparently so, because this is the report. Where is it? I hope I didn't unlike it. Because I have it written. I had it saved. Spread it, but it's complicated improvement, but not formal approach yet. Let me check. I will show you this because this was talked about today. Here we go. This is according to David Ornstein. So you kind of can believe it, but you kind of cannot. But the Arsenal interest in Eze is separate from striker and the winger, and he is high among the list of attacking targets. Basically, this is what it's all about. Eze is apparently a target, and we still would get apparently left winger, maybe, and a striker, allegedly. League Gunner Robo bigging up here. Yeah, don't start this. I'm bigging up League Gunner because he is the one who actually fights for everyone. He has given a voice, I would say, to almost everyone. He has given a chance, an opportunity, a voice for everyone who is actually want to express themselves. DJB, Lee, Shane, Matty, Sudden Gunner, Kenny, Ken, everyone just spits facts. Yeah, subscribe to BBK. Big up Stockholm Gunnar. Hope the Sweden is doing well today. Rodrigo is not in the starting 11 again for Real Madrid against Juventus. Yeah, he is not. Apparently, that was also talked about yesterday already, so that is very interesting. Maybe he is set to leave. Good news for Arsenal, maybe. Maybe. Those are the speculations, because also yesterday some news from Real Madrid sources like Marca and all this stuff came out that Real Madrid expect one Real Madrid player to ask for a transfer, and if a proper bid comes in, they're going to sell him, right? No questions asked. The thing is that one player actually could be Lunin, it could be Fran Garcia, it could be anyone. But obviously, knowing Arsenal fans, everyone says, it will be Rodrigo. What did I do? Oh, I speak facts. Oh, big up, Kwame. Big up. People don't like that, though. People genuinely don't like when I speak those things, because I get so many weird comments on TikTok and on Shorts recently. It's actually kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie. I will say it again: Viktor Gyökeres, Rodrigo, Lukman, Eze, then right wing, and honestly, you believe we could do something then? Yeah, if we get Rodrigo, we get Eze, and we get Gyokeres, then we add a backup for Saka. Maybe a left wing if push comes to shove as well, if we can afford it. Actually, then we potentially could have a very decent squad to do some damage. Good news for us, but bad news for Eze. We can't let Spurs get Eze. Hell no. Apparently, according to Athletic, the same that reported this, right? The same source that reported this. Apparently, Spurs have backed off Eze for a bit now. They are more focused maybe on Kudus together with Newcastle at the moment, so we'll see how that develops. 11 likes, big up, people, big up. If you haven't already, do me a favor, smash the like buttons. Aiming for those 20 likes today to hit, we are what, for 1K basically before the season kicks off. Big up, 654, big up to you all. If you haven't already, do the favor and subscribe, people. But what about Rodrigo? That is the big question. Robo, you're getting popular on TikTok, and what do you mean I'm getting popular? I am nobody. I have no name. Nobody listens to me in terms of big audience. You guys are here. I'm very thankful for that. But in terms of big numbers, that I have a voice like these top Gunners have. Because let's be real, if you exclude Lee Gunner, right? Rest of our part, who are Arteta out, for example, or who are calling this stuff out, are a small minority. Because all the top Gunners have 2-point-something million subs, 100,000+ subs, 200,000+ subs, 50,000 subs, 30,000 subs. If you include Dan, who has 50 almost, Curtis, Turkish, and people like that, yes, we have some people, but they don't call it out on a consistent basis. Dan maybe does now, and Curtis as well. But overall as well, the top Gunners still massively outweigh the amount of people who actually, or try at least, say some other things. Hope you'll get one. I hope so. It would be nice. It would be a nice achievement. Because ultimately my personal goal I have set, is to get to 1K before the season kicks off. If it cannot be achieved, it's by the end of this year. So in half a year, basically. And if we do this, I would be much grateful. Plus, we are competing with Liverpool and Man City. Yes, exactly. When we compare our squad to the squads at this point in time, I don't believe we are winning Premier League or not Champions League. We are winning none of those. With this squad, with this situation, we are not getting any of those. I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't win any cups as well. We need decent. We need. Emery wants party at Aston Villa. If that happens, I'm going to lose it. Oh, I totally get you. I get that. How the hell is Tomiyasu out again till December? Dude, cancel his contract now, pay it off, and move on. Yeah, it is ridiculous. He's on 100 grand a week. He has played 6 minutes for Arsenal last season against Southampton as a substitution. But overall, he has been injured, I think, since last year's July. Like this month, it's 1 year, and by the end of the year, it will be a year and a half. And in the year and a half, he would have played 6 minutes overall. And he gets 100 grand a week, by the way. 100 grand a week. So basically, he will get about, 100 grand. That's 3.6, 1.8. That's about 5.4 million for just sitting on the bench and being injured. Eze Cam, Rodrigo, Gyokeres, striker. Exactly, that's an attack. Imagine Eze, Rodrigo, Gyokeres, Saka. Phenomenal attack. For you, it's the other way around, but it's the same thing. I would love to see Russell Westbrook win a ring as well. Nah, screw that guy. I like Russell Westbrook. I like the hustle and everything. But there is something unlikable about him. I cannot put my finger on what. He's a very good player. A bit hot-headed, triple-double machine, pretty much. Well, he used to be, at least. Obviously, it's now the twilight of his career and everything, but I don't know, something unlikable about Russell Westbrook for me. Yeah, I fully agree with that on Tommy. If so, San Rodrigo, Gyokeres now, and Moscon. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Get it done soon, exactly. Stop wishy-washing. Stop dragging out time. He was never available. Yeah, got injured when being injured about the injury. Do we not give him an extension this time last? I think it was 2 years ago. 23 or 24, we gave him an extension whilst he was injured, by the way. That's what's nuts. You didn't dream that. That is actually true. We gave Tomiyasu an extension last year in February 24, March 24, if I'm not mistaken, whilst he was injured. Arteta, our medical staff out, everyone out. Exactly. I predict it will be Gyokeres and Eze. We need more. We definitely need more. Oh, then sell Jesus. Jesus, not sure we can get rid of Jesus as well. Jesus is out till December as well. No, Jesus is not out till December. Jesus is out till September, October. So if he gets injured by the time we get till January, it's again curtains. Yeah. And we need decent and world-class players. Exactly. If you look at Man City's squad, for example, they have a substitution on high level apart from right back. You could argue for every single spot, to be honest. Yes, their defense is shaky right now. But overall, in every position, they have someone they can put in, and it basically remains the same quality, at least. 12, big up. Other players, this is good. Agun, Fofana, Ademola Lookman, Amadou Onana, Kelka. They had players, exactly. We need squad depth most of all these teams. The rest, like their main players, are split games between men. Yeah, we need for rotation for the smaller games so we can rotate. That is the big thing. I'll give the Cronkies the deed to my house if we get those players over the line. They might get one of three, maybe. You won't give, they don't care about your house. They are billionaires. They're one of the richest owners in Premier League, and they still don't put money. Think about it. By PSR, FFP, Premier League, whatever the crap rules, owners of any specific club yearly can put in 109 million of their own money into the club for transfers. 109 million. Now, guess how many times Arsenal owners have done that? Guess how many times Arsenal owners have done that? Serious talk. Kroenke should sell, but they will need about 7-8 billion offer at least. Big up Kwame. Big up Kwame. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you had a great stay and hope to see you tomorrow as well. Have a great evening. Try relax and chill and forget about Arsenal, because let's be real, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. One of Arsenal's potential targets, by the way, is off the market. According to recent reports, apparently Antoine Semenyo has signed a new 5-year deal at Bournemouth, extending his contract till 2030. So it looks like he could be off the market, and Arsenal are not getting him. That was one of those players we potentially looked at if we couldn't get another winger. So that is another player arguably off the market. Would he raise the ceiling? No. If it push came to shove, if we got rid of Trossard and Martinelli in the same window like this one, and we signed Rodrigo, and we need the backup for Rodrigo, 100% I would entertain the Semenyo idea. Joga Bonito is gonna get injured again. Yeah. Injuriasu and everyone else. Bolivian striker Jesus, whose scoring goals is not even his best forte. He has said that himself. But yeah, Jonathan David is signing for what's its face? Jonathan David is signing for Juventus. Apparently, they are literally millimeters away from signing Jonathan David. So that is as well one of the market. Exactly what I said. Yeah, Jesus has been injured so much. Could spare he was on the cross himself. Well, how many times he has risen now? The Jesus rose once, right? This Jesus has risen about 3-4 times now from the injuries. Jonathan David was picked up by a serious club. Yeah, Juventus. It looks like they're actually going to get rid of Vlahovic, by the look of things at least. So that will be interesting to see who gets Vlahovic. That is also a big question mark for me. Maybe Aston Villa could get Vlahovic if they lose Watkins, because Watkins today has been linked with United and everything. They need a backup. So that could be interesting. But yeah, at the moment, by the way, it's halftime in Club World Cup between Real Madrid and Juventus, and it's 0-0. It is 0-0. Of course, Rodrigo is holding the bench, hence why all the top Gunners are getting giddy once again in terms of Arsenal potentially signing Rodrigo, because he is holding bench again. I wouldn't mind Vlahovic right now. On my knees. See, Vlahovic now is not that bad of a deal. This is what I'm saying all along. If you starve long enough, even players, or in this case food, you don't like, over time becomes the best thing on the earth. The thing is, with food, you kind of can live with that. In football, if you want to go for trophies, you cannot allow standards drop like this. Because there is no excuse for Arsenal not to sign a striker, not to sign 2 strikers. Back in the day when it was 4-4-2, right, that usually teams played, every team had about 3-4 strikers. Nobody had issues. Would stand to a point that when we play a single striker, technically, we would get at least 2 strikers in the team. But when you look at Arsenal, we have nada. We genuinely have zilch, zero, nada, nothing. Starve me of food long enough and I'll eat whatever comes my way soon enough. Exactly, that is the case. And that's what Arsenal are doing to us, aren't they? We haven't signed a proper striker since we signed Aubameyang, and that was 7 years ago, more than that. Aubameyang left Arsenal 3.5 years ago, and we haven't signed a replacement for him since. It's basically like a running joke. A cat. He's hungry. Owner gives him, let's just say, rice, like rice for dinner, right? Rice with something in it, right? Monday he goes, ew, rice, ew, yuck. Okay, Tuesday he goes, rice, ew, yuck. Wednesday, nah, it's rice, I don't wanna. Thursday comes, he's hungry like a wolf, everything. He looks at the rice and thinks, my favorite, rice. Let's eat. Yum, 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 instantly. It genuinely it takes time. It gets to a point where ultimately you will take whatever you can get. And unfortunately, Arsenal are doing that to us. Star of Arsenal FC of a striker for long enough and he will take Mateta. To be honest, I actually wouldn't be against signing Mateta. Not maybe as the first option, as the secondary, I wouldn't mind. Like, seriously, Mateta actually is not that bad of a striker. However, If Gyokeres is available, and according to reports, Crystal Palace would want about 60 million for Arteta, which is more than Gyokeres at the moment is available for. It kind of makes no sense in getting Mateta, does it? I'm starving. Everyone's starving. Feel bad being negative, Robo, but this club have done some stupid ass business. Like, that is not even being negative. That is general consensus. Think about it. Signing players like Willian, Cedric Suarez, Pablo Mari, Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos, even Kivior to some extent, Runnison, Matt Turner, Matthew Ryan, all the goalkeepers and everything. We have done it all the time. It's like, the thing is, if you sign those type of players, you better have actually somewhat good manager who can get it over the line. Because Wenger also didn't hit the money all the time, but he made the best of what he got, right? Do you think that this team, specifically, this Arsenal team we have right now, would come back from being 4-0 down against Reading away, just like our team did under Wenger when we won 7-5? Away when we were 4-0 down, Theo Walcott scored, Koscielny scored, and then Maroun Chamakh scored, for them Pogrebniak scored and players like that. Do you think this team would have the cojones to come back from being 4-0 down? Well, 4-1 at halftime, right? But about around 40th minute, it was still 4-0. Do you think this team have enough balls to do that with this manager at the wheel? Personally, I have big doubts about that. Under Wenger, Marouane Chamakh scores, Walcott scores, Koscielny scores, players that at the time were not Arsenal level. Maybe Koscielny at the time was, but overall he was nowhere Arsenal level if we look at it right now. Chamakh, let's be real. And players like Walcott, he was good, but at striker, he was very decent, to be honest. But Walcott in this day and age would be running circles around half of the Premier League at least. That is one of some of the biggest things. I've seen enough of Havertz and Jesus for a lifetime. I didn't even rate Aubameyang when he was a striker, moved like a striker. I haven't seen that at Arsenal aside from glimpse of Nketiah. Nketiah had some good runs, but this is the big thing for Arsenal. If you actually stop following the ball specifically when you watch Arsenal games and you start to follow specific players, even Havertz, Martinelli, right? If you look at those players and how they make their runs, it literally takes at times one ball over defenders' backs and the player is in one-on-one. Because whilst our attackers are running in between the lines towards the goal, the defenders still have their backs against the goal. So their recovery time would be very, very massive. On top of that, they're not the fastest defenders have the time. So Martinelli with his pace would be long gone. And that is a big thing as well. Our players actually make some good runs. If you actually look at that, if you rewind some tapes and you look how our players play and make runs, it's just the fact that Odegaard doesn't make the pass when it's needed. Other players don't make their runs don't make the passes when it's needed. Remember we looked at that gif where Martinelli was making run in between three players and nobody was covering him. Odegaard had open line to give the pass, just scoop pass with his strong foot around the defender, and Martinelli was in one-on-one. He overhauled the ball with 6 extra touches and then passed it to Partey next to him. And then he holds up his hand and says, "I'm sorry, I didn't see you." He saw him. Let's be real. He saw him. It's visible on the video. And he just passed it to Thomas Partey. Some of our attackers actually make good runs. Even Havertz makes some good runs in between the lines. Credit where credit is due for him. Our midfield is not creative enough, or they have instructions by Arteta to play the safe ball and not take any risks, not to lose the possession, don't lose the control, don't let yourselves be countered, and everything. And that is one of the biggest or one most frustrating things when you watch Arsenal. Because I'm serious, if you watch some games back from last season, right? And if you just stop just following the ball as it gets passed backwards, and you just look at our attackers, for example, how they move and how they make runs, it's actually kind of insane. It genuinely is insane. I need a striker. I don't even care if it's that guy from Everton. I don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's another injury waiting to happen, by the way. Don't want that. Beto, also, no thanks. Brother, I'm even asking for Beto at this point. Dude, don't lower your standards in moments of desperation. Seriously, for this, definitely not. What do you mean? Oh, I mean about Beto, okay. Yeah, I've seen Martinelli and Trossard trying to make runs in behind, and Odegaard would just pass it to Partey and Rice and reset possession. Exactly. And it happens on very many occasions. And where is the high risk, high reward type of passes? Because every single team makes them. Arsenal, though, it's insane amount of times. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Game deciding passes that could be. Man, this than the type of shit we've been watching. Exactly. It's genuinely terror ball. The thing is, Oba, Luck, and Ketia and the like kept on making those runs and would actually rage at their midfielders, maybe not in Ketia, if they weren't getting the ball. Yeah. Aubameyang was demanding the ball because he knew that he would score. He was golden boot winning Aubameyang. He knew. Lacazette as well. Yes, he didn't hit insane heights like he did at Lyon. At the same time, many times he actually made some good runs. He was open in many spaces. The thing was, our players just did not pass the ball to them. They much rather recycle the ball. They much rather pass it to a different direction. Or they have two options and they always pick the wrong one. It's like the footballing IQ, decision-making, and the actual pass don't come in together as one in cohesion in their brain, and it doesn't compute at half the time. And then, for example, you watch some games from, let's just say, 20 years ago, and you watch how Fabregas did the passing. You watch how you go to watch other leagues. You watch how, for example, Isco does the passing, how Modric does the pass, how Toni Kroos used to do the passing, and all this stuff. And you just look how beautiful they're making the runs. That the midfielders actually find them. They actually move in cohesion. They move with some purpose in the attack. Then you switch back to Arsenal and you just watch ting, 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 ting. You just watch pinball machine going around with no actual attack and no actual bite. Perhaps Arteta doesn't want a striker because it would make his midfielders break off from his tactics. Most likely, yeah, exactly. On top of that, we don't even know if Arteta can coach a striker because, well, he hasn't even had one. Yes, he inherited Golden Boot Aubameyang, but he instantly put him at left wing and played him left wing back half the time. Lacazette was made to play as a 6 half the time. Like, that also doesn't make any sense. Bro, Fabregas feels like a dream right now. I don't believe what I've seen that player do was real. Exactly. And the nuts part is we had a chance to re-sign Fabregas at Arsenal a few years later. And Wenger said, no, I don't want him back. He went to Chelsea. And you know what? You know who Arsenal signed instead? Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta was Fabregas' replacement at the end of the day. How nuts is that? And we all saw what Fabregas did at Chelsea, by the way. Like, it's actually kind of nuts if you come to think of it. I'll take Patson Daka, dude. I'm on that Daka trend. Dude, re-sign Mika Biera from Monaco, for fuck's sake, or someone like that. Even him, he never get a kick on the ball at Arsenal. Same goes for Foreign Balogun, Chidobe Martin, not to mention Butler or Yadeji. None of those got a kick of the ball at Arsenal. None of them. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well today. Hope everything is fine. And crazy think he's probably better than anyone we have at the moment. Think about it. The players we had a chance to sign and we just didn't. Like, I'm not talking even about Benzema or Higuain and stuff like that. Not talking about Draxler or Al-R or Jan Villa or Grzegorz Krychowiak or players like that. But even if you look at these things, for example, Unai Emery, he wanted Fabinho from Monaco at the time. Arsenal bought him Lucas Torreira. Fabinho then went to Liverpool, won Premier League, won Champions League, won the Cups and everything. Emery wanted Zaha. Arsenal bought him Pepe. Arsenal wanted Riyad Mahrez. That didn't happen. Arteta wanted Jamie Vardy. That didn't happen. Arsenal also wanted N'Golo Kante. We got Granit Xhaka instead. And it's always been like that. Always. And that is something that feels so surreal, it feels like a fiction. Yet at the same time, it's real life. That's the sad part. Get me Joe Linton, bro. We will revive him as a striker. To be honest, from Eddie Howe's point of view, that is a masterclass stroke, making him from attacker into a midfielder. And he is a part of arguably one of the best, if not the best midfield in Premier League right now, together with Bruno, Tonali, and players like that. This is what that's also is very, very insane, if you ask me. Very, very, very insane. I definitely believe so that Newcastle's midfield is one of the best in the league, if not the best. Considering that we're debating Havertz and Marino, and I can't do an RC. Exactly. If we haven't signed a striker by the 10th, you know what? Knowing Arsenal, I wouldn't put my hopes up. I genuinely would not put my hopes up. Of course, the dream is still there. The dream is still there. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it will not. But maybe Gyokeres might happen. Maybe not. Who knows? Big up Into the Box. Big up. I see you, my guy. Big up. Hope you're doing well today. Go subscribe to Into the Box as well. Go subscribe to Into the Box as well. But yeah, could we sign Gyokeres? Oh, Luis Suarez. Oh, those were the good days. The same with Ibrahimovic and everything. By the way, it was 10 years ago, pretty much. When Valverde was 16 years old, he was at tryouts at Arsenal. And Arsene Wenger said no. Federico Valverde, the same Valverde who plays midfield or right back or right wing, by the way, for Real Madrid. The same Valverde. Not so sure about Emil Heskey, but I heard Sanogo is still available. Same goes for Marwan Shamah. We might get them back. Run it back the clock together with Niklas Bentner. Get Crespo out. Get Titi out of retirement, although I'm not so sure he would want to play under this manager. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. It genuinely is insane and scary when you come to think of it, of how far we have become and how low we have fallen to some extent. It is actually scary hours, if you ask me. It is genuine scary hours, and I'm not so sure how long and how much it would take for us to actually get out of this. Get Kallstrom, get for Saliba, get Squillaci for Saliba cover, and get Kallstrom as a center mid because we need another option. Like, insane. That's genuinely insane. Get Almunia as the third choice keeper and everything. If you're going that way, just go for it. Just genuinely go for it. Go for them all. Go for them all. Get Senderos. Get Flamini back. Get Reyo Miyachi back. Takuma Asano and all these men. Get them. Get them. Oh, Victor Manone. Oh, what a legend. What a legend. Victor Manone. Run it back. Resign Runnison just in case. Resign Runnison. That. Anything else new? Hold on. Andrea Berta hopes to finalize the signing of Viktor Gyökeres. Do it then. Genuinely do it then. From what I'm hearing, people close to the situation. Once Real Madrid get back from Club World Cup, Rodrigo is going to make it clear that he wants to leave. Hey, yo, what? Hey, yo. It's Graham Bailey, so take it with a pinch of salt. And this is the last thing we're gonna talk about today. But hey, yo. What are we doing here? Breaking, no news to report. Yeah, basically. Get Shamach, bro. He's only 41. Exactly. He's still young. Ronaldo still plays. Why not Shamach, you know? Save the pen with his face. Dude, that's like the Scott Sterling type of videos. You've seen Scott Sterling as the penalty and volleyball player. Like, those are the nuts ones. Karlström works actually in the Swedish Football Federation. Big up to him. I'll get a tattoo of Berta if we get Gyokeres. Yo, clip this right now. 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 20 seconds into the box has said that if he is going to get a tattoo of Andrea Berta if we get Gyokeres. Listen, clip this. I want Berta to go rogue on sign Oyarzabal. Dude, Oyarzabal is a baller. He is actually a baller. Go grab Olmo from Barcelona. Might as well. But this is what Graham Bailey is saying, by the way. This is what Graham Bailey is saying. Apparently, as soon as the Club World Cup ends and Real Madrid fly back to Spain, Rodrigo is going to say that they will leave. I think Rodrigo is quickly emerging as Arsenal's dream target. I think everything points towards Rodrigo leaving. And my belief is that Arsenal will towards the top of his desired places to go. Arsenal know what kind of fee it will take to sign Rodrigo, around £75 million. Given that we paid £72 million for Nicolas Pepe, this feels like pocket change, I'm not gonna lie. They know about his wages and that hasn't scared of them one bit. Big up. If that is happening, that is actually nuts. Real Madrid won nothing, by the way. Fran Garcia, no, not Fran Garcia. Gonçalo Garcia has scored. 1-0 for Hala Madrid. Madridistas probably dancing around. Anyways, I think on that note, we're going to end today's stream. Kepa has signed for Arsenal. Everyone's happy. Are you not excited? They told us to be patient, and we finally got reported. Fucking hell. Finally, we are rewarded for the patience, and we get Kepa Arrizabalaga, fourth choice keeper from Chelsea for $5 million on 75 grand a week. While Saraya is on 100, so that is good news. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Let's genuinely see what tomorrow brings. But for today, I am signing out. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Go to my TikTok and YouTube shorts and check out the YouTube short I uploaded today and TikTok as well, according to the reports. ... We need that on a t-shirt 100%, like stuff like that. Bless me. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream today here. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day tomorrow. Maybe Arsenal tomorrow actually are going to sign a striker or something. Let time only will tell. But July is here. Let's cork open that war chest. Let all the cobwebs since 2011 or whatever out. And let's see what Arsenal can do. But until the next video, next stream, or whatever comes next, take care, stay safe, and see you very, very, very soon. Peace.